We move on to the leadership newspaper now. Japa syndrome threatening Nigeria's workforce. And Labour Party crisis, why we are heading to Apex Court. Caretaker committee will weed out negative elements from our parties, says pro-Fubara PDP. And still staying with the leadership, Anambra Guba aspirant worries over security law abuse. All right, the Vanguard is next now. High interest rates, manufacturers cut back on bank loans. And Governor Eno assures verified workers of payment of minimum wage arrears. Akwa Ibom government declares cholera outbreak in one community. High interest rates, manufacturers, cut back on bank loans. Nigerians in diaspora petition Interior Minister over printer crisis. And Sanwo-Olu engages fellows in fireside chat on transformative leadership. And Trump vows to address U.S. crisis with historic speed at pre-inauguration rally. APC clears 16 local governments in Ondo, result of 2 councils pending. Edo battle of supremacy, how in a show of force, okay? Trump arrives in Washington ahead of today's inauguration. And federal government set up committee to investigate Suleja tanker explosion, others victim evacuation. And jubilation in Abakaliki over pipe-borne water as it begins operation after 9 years. Maiduguri stands still as VP leads dignitaries to grand wedding of Dailori's daughter. And Alison Maduike's loot. Serap writes Trump seeks return of stolen assets and ban on corruption. And gunmen invade church, shoots prophet dead during service in Ogun State. We are doing everything possible to rescue AIG's wife from abductors. That's according to the police. Again, unidentified lady murdered, dumped near Nasarawa Polytechnic. All right, we move on to the Guardian newspaper now. 18 electricity towers damaged in 5 days despite surveillance. That's a sad one. Shetima departs for Economic Forum in Switzerland. African Development Bank commits $1 billion to boost agro-business industry. And Dezani Ozegome Horiwa caution against smear campaign. And on the sporting scene, Arsenal targets Victor Osimhen in January transfer. Africa's economy at crossroad as Trump's second coming strokes uncertainty. Livestock Ministry to spend 129 million naira on egg production, technical support. And Kaduna peace dialogue and danger of negotiating with terrorists. Oyedele seeks fast track of tax reform implementation. And concerns as Lagos grapples with high crime rates despite CCTV camera. EFCC decries murder of officer, labels suspect as armed internet fraudster. Soludo unveils Anambra Homeland Security Law and new outfit. And Dangote explains PMS X depot price adjustment. And Imo Senator flees him over alleged apology letter to Abacha. And Finance Minister identifies inflation as biggest challenge in stabilizing economy. Polytechnic workers to embark on 3-day warning strike. NDLEA foils students' attempt to swallow 76 wrap of cocaine at Kano Airport. And man arrested for stabbing brother-in-law to death over family dispute. Family seeks embassy intervention in incarceration of blind 86-year-old monarch. Edo gets first female commissioner. An 18-member medical team treats tanker explosion victims. We move on to the Sun newspaper now, and the paper leads with the tanker explosion. Niger tanker explosion. FG Can governors Obi mourn as death toll rises to 86. And TikTok restores services in US following Trump's assurance of executive order. Starved me of food, water for 5 days, says core members. And this is still on penpushing.com. And TikTok suspends services in America. Gunmen kill pastor during church service. And pen pushing loses member. That's a very sad story. Fraud allegation. Anti-Crimes Commission may seek bench warrant against Oba Otudeko if he fails to appear for arraignment. And another sad story here: footballer slums dies on birthday. All the stories you can get on penpushing.com. Remember, penpushing.com is a source of authentic news globally. All right, we'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look at some of the stories in detail. Don't go away, still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Wake up. Reach out. Speak up. Speak out. You are the voice of a new generation. And this is your station. Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
Need a lift? Feeling low, bored, or confused?
Wants your dream to brightly glow?
Here is what to do.
Women's Corner is waiting just for you.
Education, work, lifestyle, career, mentorship, and family too.
We will tackle the issues, provide solutions, and see you through. Finding your voice, reaching high, and making an impact. Women's Corner, where knowledge can fly.
Join us every Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. for inspiring stories and practical advice to reach all your glories.
It's Women's Corner on Citizen 93.7 FM, Abuja.
Woman don't suffer, lower everybody. Suffer, enjoy forever.
Did you miss out on the news during the week? Not to worry. A Retrospect is here to make up for the missed information. Retrospect is a complete package of all the major news headlines that made the airwaves from Sunday to Saturday. Join me, Esther Musu, on the program Retrospect on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Sunday at 6 p.m. Retrospect. We keep you informed.
Oya o my people, make una come gather here. Which kind tori una wan hear on top radio? Wetin dey catch fire on top social media? Bring am on top make we talk am for Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja every Monday go reach Thursday and the time na 5:10 wey be 10 minutes after 5. Make we talk am as e dey be.
Nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Make we join our hearts to build a nation of our dream. Citizen FM, Citizen FM. Yeah. Your problem is my problem and my joy is your joy. Citizen FM, Citizen FM.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still Newspaper Review on Citizen 93.7 FM here in Abuja. My name is Lawrence Umoiti, and welcome to the second half of the show. And this is where we look at some of the stories in details. We start off with the front page story on the Guardian newspaper. 18 electricity towers damaged in 5 days despite surveillance. Despite the involvement of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and alleged surveillance monitoring of electricity infrastructure, 18 transmission towers have been destroyed in the past 5 days. The towers, which may require about 1.9 billion naira to fix, were vandalized in Rivers, Abia, and Kano states between January 9th and 14th, 2025, the Transmission Company of Nigeria said yesterday. Vandals had on Friday thrown the presidential villa in Abuja into darkness as rising cases of theft of electricity cable disrupted power supply. A 32 kV transmission line and underground cable taking power to central parts of the Federal Capital Territory and environs were vandalized around the Millennium Park, just about 1 kilometer away from the presidential villa. The prevailing development posed significant threat to the nation's power grid and socio-economic development. Well, that's the story there. 18 power electricity towers damaged in 5 days. We move on to the Punch newspaper. NLC faults fresh petrol hike, says federal government insensitive. The Nigerian Labour Congress has frowned on the recent hike in the pump price of petrol, describing it as a height of insensitivity against the masses. NLC's senior NLC officials disclosed this in separate interviews with the correspondent of Punch, as oil marketers refuted being blamed for the recent hike in the PMS prices nationwide. Similarly, the Dangote refinery also said the rise in petrol price was not from the Lekki-based plant, but due to an increase in the cost of crude oil, the major components for refined petroleum products. NLC faults fresh price hike, says FG insensitive. All right, we move on to the Tribune now, and the lead story here is tax reform bills. Stakeholders tackle governors over revised sharing formula on derivation, population, and VAT. Major stakeholders at the weekend disagreed on the decision of the Nigerian Governors Forum to tinker with the provisions on derivation and value-added tax in the tax reform bills initiated by the President. While some stakeholders described the drastic adjustment made by the governors as a compromise on the bills, others viewed the action of the NGF as unfair, since the proposal is meant to redress age-long injustice in the nation's tax system. And some of those who spoke on the adjustment carried out by the governors in the initial proposal of the President in the bill included the coalition of political parties, Pansushu, political Yoruba organization, that's the Afeni Ferry, and chieftain of All Progressives Grand Alliance, Chief Jekwa Okori, and others. Assisting with the Tribune newspaper, Shettima departs Abuja to attend World Economic Forum. Vice President Kashim Shettima on Sunday departed Abuja to represent Nigeria at the 2025 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum, scheduled for Davos in Switzerland. According to his spokesman, Stanley Nkwocha, the Vice President will join world leaders, top business executives, and representatives of developed partners at the meeting to discuss the state of the world economy with a view to improving its condition. Shettima departs Abuja to attend World Economic Forum. Well, let's look at this story before we leave the Tribune. FG6 Global Mining Partnership to boost Nigeria's economy. In its avowed determination to revitalize the nation's economy, the federal government has expressed its commitment to fostering strategic global mining partnerships that drive economic growth, promote investment, and encourage innovation. The Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, led the charge at the Future Minerals Forum in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where she showcased Nigeria's vast resource wealth and underscored the country's readiness to collaborate with global partners. FG6 Global Mining Partnership to boost Nigeria's economy. We move on to the Nation newspaper now. On Algon, 774 councils to open dedicated accounts with the central bank. The 774 local governments are to open dedicated accounts with the Central Bank of Nigeria for the direct disbursement of allocations to them from the Federation account. Algon said yesterday the national president, Bello Lawal, said the opening of the account is critical to the implementation of the Supreme Court ruling on the direct allocation to the councils. He said the Apex Banks is waiting for the federal government's directive on the opening of accounts. Also, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit is to monitor the utilization of funds by the chairman in conformity with the principles of transparency, accountability, and good governance. Algon, 774 councils to open dedicated accounts with CBN. Oh, well, still staying with the Nation newspaper. Abure, we are heading to Supreme Court. LP's National Caretaker Panel vows. The Caretaker Committee of the Labour Party has said it will seek further clarification on the party's leadership dispute at the Supreme Court. The Court of Appeal on Friday reaffirmed Julius Abure as LP's national chairman. In the judgment delivered by Justice Aman Banka, the appeal court held that its November 24, 2024 decision recognizing Abure as the party's chairman remained valid and had not been overturned by any court. But a statement by the National Caretaker Committee Chairman, Senator Linani Usman, and the National Caretaker Committee Secretary, Senator Darlington Mwokocha, said the ruling and that of January 17, 2025 had thrown up issues that only the Supreme Court could clarify. We are heading to the Supreme Court. LP's National Caretaker Panel vows. All right, Daily Trust is next now. On the $6 billion Mambila power contract deal, Obasanjo Buhari testify in Paris court. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo and Mohamed Buhari are testifying before the International Chamber of Commerce in Paris, France, in connection with the $2.3 billion arbitration proceedings filed against Nigeria by Sunrise Power over an alleged breach of contract by the federal government. Sources confirmed to this day yesterday that both leaders are in Paris too, in respect of the matter. A presidential spokesman, Bayo Onanuga, on Saturday denied a report that the presidency forced some eminent Nigerians to testify in the arbitration proceedings taking place in Paris. Onanuga, who did not deny the existence of the case, said all the eminent Nigerians involved in the Nigerian defense are doing so willingly and out of sheer patriotism and conviction. All right, still staying with Daily Trust newspaper. Niger tanker explosion, 86 buried, 43 hospitalized, others missing. 86 of the victims of Saturday's fuel tanker explosion in Diko. Well, the leadership newspaper is next now. Japa syndrome threatening Nigeria's workforce. As more Nigerians are eager and willing to leave the country in search of greener pastures abroad for various reasons, there are concerns that the Japa syndrome, if not quickly addressed, may further deplete the country's workforce. This is according to findings by the leadership data mining department. Well, that's the much we can take on newspaper review this morning, and join us tomorrow for another edition. But before we go, yes, we need to celebrate our own today. Happy birthday to a media legend, Mr. Salman Salami. who is the Chief Operating Officer of Citizen 93.7 FM in Abuja. With over 40 years of dedication to journalism, your wealth of experience and guidance have inspired countless individuals. Your kindness and compassion have created a lasting impact on those around you. Here's to another year of wisdom, good health, and continued success. Wishing you a wonderful birthday, sir. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for staying tuned throughout the duration of Newspaper Review. My name is Lawrence Sumaite. Enjoy the rest of your day.